Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday, TGIF, and it is an awesome day. A little cooler outside today, so we'll take that. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get that chance of rain that we've had in the forecast, and boy, could we use it ever. So we hope that you're enjoying your Friday morning. We have a special treat for you today where the street crew, once again, has headed out and done a wonderful job of showing us all about, this time, the Mason County Fair over in West Virginia. So we are going to head over there to Mason County Fair, check that out, and then a little bit later we'll be back with both Pete and Jeremiah to fill you in on some of the great things that are going on and maybe wild things that are going on in the news. So we'll be back on the other side of our video with some news. We hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, the street team's at the Mason County Fair. Come along with us to see what's going on.
All right, today I'm here with
Laura, along with my three sons' booth.
So Laura, what can we find at this booth here?
You can find homemade freeze-dried candy at any flavor. We have the new different colored Stanley cups. We have ear pods. We have a variety of different things. So if you're out and about, stop in and check us out.
Some great stuff here. And will you be at any other fairs, or where are you located?
We are located right here in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, right next to Crowdell Park, Price's Brother Tire Shop.
So what flavors do you recommend the most?
I think the most favorable is the Skittle.
That's pretty good.
It's really good.
That's really good.
Thank you. If you're here at the Mason County Fair in Point Pleasant, stop by and buy some.
Check us out.
Check them out. Guys, we're on the Paratrooper here at the Mason County Fair.
Best fair in town.
Best fair in town. Some people are kicking off their shoes onto the ground. So if you're here, come visit the Paratrooper. Awesome people. Great rides at the Mason County Fair. This is actually scary.
Come to the Mason County Fair, please, and ride this ride, guys, because it's so fun.
Oh, my phone!
And do you have a song or a joke you'd like to tell us?
What is a cow? What is a cow with no legs?
What is it?
Ground beef.
That is the joke of the night, and it doesn't get old, I tell you. A cow with no legs is ground beef.
there's a silver lining behind every cloud. Just poor people, that's all we were, trying to make a living out of Blackland dirt. We'd get together in a family circle singing loud. And Daddy sang bass and Mama sang tenor, and me and little brother would join right in there, singing sings the Hillfoot Trouble song. One of these days, and it won't be long, I'll join them in a song. I'm gonna join the family circle at the throne. Oh no, the circle won't be broken by and by, Lord, by and by. Daddy sang bass, and Mama sang tenor, and me and little brother would join right in there, in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I remember after work, Mama, she'd call in all of us. You could hear us singing for a country mile. Now little brother's done gone, but I'll rejoin him in a song. We'll be together again up yonder in a little while. Daddy sang bass and Mama sang tenor, and me and little brother would join right in there, singing sings the Hillfoot Trouble song. Well, one of these days, and it won't be long, I'll rejoin them in a song. I'm gonna join the family circle at the throne. Oh no, the circle won't be broken by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better on the way than in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I said in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Johnny Cash. Do another one Johnny Cash did. This is When the Roll is Called Up Yonder, I'll Be There. When the trumpet of the Lord shall sound, its time will be no more, and the morning breaks eternal, bright and fair. When the saved of earth shall gather and row on the other shore, when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, 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 I'll be there. Let us labor for the Master from the dawn till setting sun. Let us talk of all His wondrous love and care. And when all life is over and our work on earth is done, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, 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 I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, 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 I'll be there. Thank you. How's everybody doing tonight? Nice and warm out for them? We'll do another one that I know it from Ralph Stanley originally being recorded on. It's called Let's All Go Down to the River. Let's all go down to the river. There's a man walking on the water. Come along with me if you want to see this man walking on the water. He can raise a man from the grave, change water and turn it into wine. He can make the lame walk, he can make the dumb talk, and open up the eyes. eyes of the blind. Well, let's all go down to the river. There's a man walking on the water. Come along with me if you want to see this man walking on the water. Jesus sees the man at the river, and he washing people's sins away. He can save your soul if you give him control. Be ready for that judgment day. Let's all go down to the river. There's a man walking on the water. Come along with me if you want to see this man walking on the water. Let's all go down to the river. There's a man walking on the water. Come along with me if you want to see this man walking on the water. I'm going to do a bit of a newer song, probably not considered gospel, but it's a song talking about how you can find God anywhere you're at, and if I've learned anything in life, that's the truth. He comes to you when you least expect it. He might not just be sitting in the church with you. So. The night I hit rock bottom, sitting on a no bar stool. He paid my tab and put me in a cab. He didn't have to. He could see I was hurting. Oh, I wish I'd have got his name, 'cause I didn't feel worth saving, but he saved me just the same. Day out on the water, the fish just wouldn't bite. I put my pole down and floated around. It was just so quiet. I could hear my old man saying, "Son, just be still. You can't find peace like this in a bottle or a pill." From a bar stool to that heaven room, Sunday morning in a church pew, in a newsstand or a hayfield, on the interstate back to Nashville, a Chevrolet with a window stand, me and him riding around talking, whether I'm looking for him or not, that's where I find God. Sometimes late at night, I lie there and listen, the sound of her heart beat, a song the crickets are singing, and I don't know what they're singing, but it sounds like a hymn to me. Lord, I ain't too good at praying, but thanks for everything. From a bar stool to that heaven room, Sunday morning in a church pew, in a newsstand or a hayfield, on the interstate back to Nashville, a Chevrolet with a window stand, me and him it's all good. Well, I do that a lot. Well, I do that one, 'cause that's where I find God. From the bar stool to that heaven road, Sunday morning in a church pew, in a deer stand or in a hayfield, on the interstate back to Nashville, a Chevrolet with the windows down, me and him riding around, it's all good. Whether I'm looking for him or not, that's where I find God. Whether I'm looking for him or not, that's where I find God. I tell you what, I am sweaty up here. I don't know about y'all. Give me a second. I'll probably be good for about 3 minutes now. Just over in the glory land, I long to be by my Savior's side. Just over in the glory land, just over in the glory land, I'll join, yes, join the happy angel band. Just over in the glory land, just over in the glory land, there with the mighty host I'll stand, just over in the glory land. I'm on my way to those mansions there, just over in the glory land, there to sing God's praise, just over in the glory land, just over in the glory land. I'll join, yes, join that the angel band, just over in the glory land, just over in the glory land, there with, yes, with the mighty host I'll stand, just over in the glory land. Just over in the glory land, I'll join, yes, join the happy angel band. Over in the glory land, just over in the glory land, there with, yes, with the mighty host I'll stand. Just over in the glory land, just over in the glory land. Here's a good one. This is Oh How I Love Jesus.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
doesn't look like a red skin potato because they're bigger than most of the red skin potatoes you buy. So
Maybe you let them get too big.
No, I
don't think so.
No, I mean I didn't dig them until after the plants died out.
I don't know anything about growing potatoes.
I told the wife next year so that we know what we're getting. We'll just because we usually get it's like the Russell potatoes is what we usually buy at the store, 5-pound bag. I told her next year we'll just buy those, let them get eyes, become seed potatoes, and
just plant them.
Plant those.
Yeah,
so I know what we're getting because we like the
taste
of those. So, but yeah, and then I was very sad that the corn. I planted 5 rows. Don't know how many stalks I had, but it was taller than me. And
so you actually got corn. It just didn't taste the best.
It didn't taste
okay.
Good. I mean, we boiled it like we do, and sometimes we do different things to it, and it just tasted like you weren't eating anything.
So here's what I did. I was so organized this year with our garden, and Jamie and I had gone to White's Mill there in Athens, and they had some interesting, different, really, really hot pepper plants, like super hot pepper plants. So I'm like, oh, cool. And he was like, yeah, let's get that. We'll make like a really cool sauce up at the restaurant, with all the hot peppers. So we planted them all, and I was so organized, and I had stakes that had all of the, what they were, so I could keep track of what was the hottest and whatever. Yeah. And they all the stakes disappeared. So
oh no!
I have no idea
what you have,
what peppers are which now, and I'm like, so. Basically, the thought is, I know what jalapenos look like. I know what habaneros look like.
Right.
The rest of them are all being combined into a sauce together. Because
it's gonna be a spicy sauce.
So but yeah.
I did some salsa, because we had a bunch of tomatoes come ripe all at once, and this year I was able to do, I think I had like 20 some tomatoes all at once come ripe between our big boys, because I planted 3 varieties this year. I had some cherry, but I only had 1 cherry plant survive.
Really?
And then I had like 3 big boy plants, and then I had 4 of these yellow tomatoes, but I can't remember what they were called. But we had a bunch come all ripe at once, so I did the whole process of boiling them and then peeling the skins and chopping them up and all that. And then I was lazy and just bought one of those mix packs and then used it with the vinegar and stuff.
Sure.
And it made this nice mild salsa. Looked really good. And this year I was able to can 3 jars of it.
Nice.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but
it is.
I told the wife, I was like,
the fruit of your labor, literally.
I said the first snow, if we had the first snow, I said we'll get this jar of salsa out and eat it.
Think about when it was warm.
Yeah. And then last year was the first year I'd ever done any canning. And I did it again this year. Canned pickles, spears, bread and butter, and ended up with about 9 or 10 pint-sized jars of spears.
Yeah.
And I opened one because there was one out of those that didn't seal properly. So I went ahead and opened it.
Sure.
And they turned out pretty good, but I feel like they need a little more time to sit in that brine.
Yep.
So that they get a little more of that flavor, but they're real sweet and just got a nice crunch. And so I'll be looking forward to
look at you, Farmer Jeremiah, right here.
Yeah, no, and we expanded the garden this year. It was like an 8x10 last year, and this year I took it out to be a 10x20. And my father-in-law let me borrow his tiller that was his father's, and I don't remember if we talked about this, but it got away from me.
Yes.
It dragged me over the hill.
He has a great video of that.
Yeah, I got a video somewhere of me getting dragged over the hill by this tiller, and
which is really not that funny. It's not safe
funny.
At all.
It was a little scary. Thank goodness there was a building there that kind of stopped it from going, and I was able to get it turned off.
But yes.
Anyhow, so we come in to talk about some news. I'm gonna talk to you some fresh news right off the press here, Jen. This is from last night. So the majority of Wellston City Council is okay with the creation of the designated outdoor refreshment area, better known as Dora, in downtown Wellston. Last night, Thursday, August 15th, their vote reflected that. They voted 5-2 to adopt by emergency the ordinance pertaining to the creation of a Dora.
Okay.
typically an ordinance has to undergo 3 readings before passage, unless it is passed by an emergency, which they were able to get done last night.
Awesome.
This ordinance for Dora had undergone 3 readings once before, but it failed due to a stalemate vote in July. It was, if you recall, it was a 2-2.
I think everybody was like, there were a lot of people not there.
Yeah, there was 2 not there, and then they were down a member because
Yeah.
there was an empty seat. So the vote ended up being 2 yeses, 2 nos, and according to the legal advice from their attorney, the city attorney, it said that the 2-2 means that, you know, it doesn't pass because you don't have the majority. So last night, you know, you had the 5-2 vote, and I want to note that for the first time in several meetings, council was whole last night. So they had everybody in
Makes
the
it
seats
nice.
last night, and the newly appointed Wilson City Councilwoman Karen Block took her seat. If you recall, we were in and talked about her being appointed to fill the 2nd ward seat in early August. And she had been sworn in on the 8th of August, and then last night was her first meeting since being appointed. So that was important because they were down a voting member. So with her being there, that was able to you know, tip that vote one way or the other.
Right.
So wanted to mention that. And when they got into the voting, I want to talk a little bit about the voting because I know people are maybe curious on how the vote happened.
Yeah, I think so, because it is kind of, while Doras are definitely not a new thing anymore.
Yeah, they've been around several years.
They're kind of new to our area, as we typically are behind the times and everything we do.
Right. So last night, you know, it being a 2nd reading, as I had said before, to be able to pass, they have to suspend the rules, and then they can vote on it and pass it as an emergency. So Wilson City Council President Rick Hudson had asked for a motion to suspend the rules to pass the ordinance as an emergency. First Ward Councilwoman Angela Spangler made a motion to suspend those rules. Her motion received a second from at-large Councilman Roby Browning, and then everyone voted in favor of suspending the rules to vote on whether or not it should be passed. Okay. And then Browning made a motion to adopt and pass the ordinance. His motion was seconded by at-large Councilwoman Tammy Phillips, and then this was followed by a roll call vote. So they go around and each of them had to voice. They had to individually voice. So Spangler, Bach, 3rd Ward Councilman Fred Doobie, Browning, and Phillips had all voted yes. Voting no were 4th Ward Councilman Walter Bub Norris and at-large Councilwoman Teresa Pond Lee Master. Now that ordinance, you know, it was a 5-2 vote, so it's a majority vote, so it passed. So it should go in effect right away. They don't have to wait the 30 days. Normally, if it passes like under a 3rd reading and it's not an emergency, it's like 30 days later then it goes in. So they can start doing this whenever they want. But we can get into that here in a second. You know, at last month's meeting when they, you know, it kind of got voted down because of the stalemate, you know, the same 2 people had voted no. So this time I sought those 2 individuals out to ask them about their reason behind the no vote. And both of them talked to me about that. Norris, you know, he had concerns that the area map presented was too large, and he didn't like the idea of an open container during the Ahilco Festival or during the tree lights, you know, for like Christmas time. He didn't like the idea of alcohol being out, you know, on the city streets in that area during those times. And he did say that he has complete confidence that the mayor will keep a close eye on the Dora, and that all precautionary measures, if needed, to address any issues of it getting out of hand or out of control.
Did we disappear? Okay, there we are.
He said the good thing is the mayor has complete control over Dora and can shut it down anytime he wants. So it can be open or closed or whatever. He has complete control. But he said his personal feelings is if someone wants to have an alcoholic beverage, they should stay inside one of the establishments. And downtown was kind of his. And then Pond Lee Master told me that she voted no because she doesn't feel like it's going to help the downtown businesses. She said she had spoke to different business owners downtown, and she says that there are more against it than for it. Even ones that sell alcohol are not all for it, she said. And she also believes that the area and the hours proposed were too broad. Because in the ordinance it says that the DORA could be 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And she just kind of felt like that was out of control. And she talked about the area being just too big. She thought it needed to be condensed.
Gotcha.
And she also mentioned that she didn't think it was a great idea for the city, and she thinks that the Ahoko Fest will become a drunk fest. So
Okay.
yeah, so that was her comments. Wellston Mayor Anthony Brenner thanked council for passing DORA, and he noted that it was an opportunity for the city to get better, and he noted that he does have control of DORA. And he said starting out, they are going to limit it to the weekends and downtown blocks only. So just to kind of get a feel of it, to see how it's going to go. And he said that Norris's concerns were valid. So, limiting that access in the area for now, just to see how it works. He said if he sees any problems, they will put an end to it.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
And I will say earlier in the meeting, there was 2 residents of Wellston, Linda Graham and John Stabler, that addressed city council about DORA. And, John Stabler, he was just there talking about he was in favor of DORA.
As an economic development thing, I would think.
Talked about the good things for how it would bring tourism. Talked about how Chillicothe's DORA.
Oh my God! You want to talk about a place that they are killing it.
Yeah, he said you never see any problem. He said he's been up there with his family when there's been DORA events, and he said there's not like people staggering down the street or anything of that nature.
Nope.
Graham was full of questions. She was asking about the availability, parking accessibility, because if it draws in more people, we're going to have the parking to accommodate those people. Talked about whether or not the city would be installing benches in downtown. Maybe these people would want to, say you're waiting at the Mexican restaurant and you have a DORA cup, you can go out and take a seat.
That's a fair question because that is what Chillicothe, one of the things that I've seen in Chillicothe is people, like Jamie and I were there on a Sunday, went into the brewery. There were like a couple of guys sitting on a bench having a beer, just chatting, and their wives were walking around shopping. That's what we're talking about here. Not like Mardi Gras on the street kind of situation. So no, the bench thing's a good idea.
Yeah. She also was concerned about the late closing time of 11 p.m. But Brenner addressed all of her concerns, and she said that her first reaction to the proposal was skeptical, even negative, partly because there was fears of the drunken riots in the streets with the DORA, and she said that didn't sound like Wellston, but she said after spending time reading the proposal and time with Mindy Osnagel, who's the clerk there, for the city, that she was glad that the council and the administration had looked at everything and had explored so much. And she said that she did say that she hopes that DORA will be a benefit rather than a deterrent for the community. And she said she would very much love to see something good happen in Wellston that's not driven by alcohol, but she said that is the culture that is today. And she said she's a daughter of an alcoholic, so I think there's some.
That hits home.
Hits home there. Yeah. So anyhow, both of them spoke, and there had been a lot of stuff on social media too about DORA. I will say that page, What's Going On in Wellston, there was a post on there that had over 300 comments of people talking about DORA, mixed emotions, people for it, people against it, people didn't even know it was taking place.
Yeah.
But I'll say only 2 people showed up at the council meeting last night to address it, even though it was like 340 some comments talking about it. So anyhow, just wanted to mention that has been passed, and something that I guess you can look forward to. But starting out, it's going to be just kind of a small, limited thing there just to see how it goes.
Yeah.
So that happened last night. We'll have a complete story. Spent several hours writing it this morning.
You spent a long time.
Spent a lot of hours writing it. Here's Miss Graham addressing council here last night, and we talked about what some of her concerns were, and the mayor kind of addressed those concerns. So just wanted to come on and talk about that. We'll have. I wrote like a 1,400 word story. I apologize to Pete in advance So he gets to read through that.
In his spare time, right?
Yeah. No, well, he wants to use it in tomorrow's papers, so he'll be reading it this morning.
That's good that you're writing this story. And I like that you went in depth and got some of the pros and cons and talked to people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like anybody's concerns or positivity was like extreme.
Yeah.
You know, like a big fight or anything like that. You understand people's opinions.
Right.
And it sounded like everybody kind of was kind about it.
Yeah. So we'll be watching to see what happens with that. Want to talk about something that happened earlier this week on Tuesday.
Okay.
I was at the Jackson City School District Board of Education meeting.
Uh-huh.
And if we just started the new school year there, Wednesday?
Yes,
so
Wednesday.
Wednesday for Jackson City Schools. And just wanted to let motorists know, those traveling on Burlington Road in Jackson should be made aware that there's a new 20-mile-per-hour school zone that's been established on Burlington Road.
Okay.
Don't know if you've been out there recently, but there's new flashing lights, Jen.
Okay.
So these flashing lights will be on when, the speed limit's 20 miles per hour through that section when flashing.
Just the same as every other school zone that you go through.
Right. And these ones are a little different. I think they'll be on of the afternoon.
Okay.
Not of the morning.
Okay.
Because so this I think I was on maybe and talked about this in the past. If not, I've definitely written about it a few times. They've been talking about the Jackson High School Burlington Road access.
Yeah, because that's always been shut off.
Yeah, it's been gated. It's gated. And this year they are going to utilize it as an exit for students to help address past traffic-related concerns. So the concerns were originally brought to the attention of Jackson City School Superintendent Phil Howard by A.J. Graham, who served as the student rep to the Jackson School Board during the 23-24 school year.
Which, by the way, is such a good idea.
It's neat,
like,
that they have a student.
Why haven't we all thought of this before? But anyway.
Right. And Graham had mentioned a problem with traffic at the high school during dismissal time.
Yep.
And Howard was able to review outdoor security camera footage and was able to find the traffic problems that Graham had mentioned. The school security camera footage shows around 3:10 p.m. Traffic lined up behind the high school building as well as lined up on Vaughn Street from State Route 139.
Yep.
The problem is, as the traffic around the back of the building, those are students trying to leave and they're trying to make a left onto Vaughn to get down to 139. Well, when the traffic's so piled up on Vaughn, the line of sight there for them to get out is very difficult.
Okay.
When the traffic,
which is a safety issue,
which is kind
obviously.
of a safety issue there. So during that last school year, Graham had asked Howard about opening up the school's Burlington Road access as a possible solution to ease some of that traffic, because then students could go out that way, versus out the other way.
But I understand the concern about Burlington Road, as it is a little bit faster and the site would be a little bit more difficult too.
Right.
There.
And Howard had originally shot down that idea.
Yeah, I could see that.
And because of the potential danger there. And he said after him and some of the school board members going out there and sitting and watching for a few different afternoons, they kind of felt like, well, if we put a school zone in, and they decided to make it the plan, according to Howard, is allow students to utilize that road to Burlington as an exit in the afternoons. He said students will only be allowed to make a right-hand turn onto Burlington during the time frame of 2 to 4 p.m.
Okay.
He said no left-hand turns will be allowed during that period, but that restriction could be reviewed in the future. He said the gate access from Burlington Road will remain locked in the mornings, but will be open in the afternoon when school is dismissed. Okay. He said no traffic will be allowed to use the access road as an entrance. So it's an exit only, no entrance.
Look at the kids, the students getting something
getting involved here.
Done. Like, that's awesome.
And there is signage out there posted that says do not enter. So it's kind of a one-way, I guess.
I think that this is a fair compromise.
Yeah. He said in the past they have utilized that out there after like football games to let people get out that way. And sometimes in emergencies, they've opened that gate, I guess, to let fire squad or police or whatever come in that way, because sometimes it might be a little quicker. And but that gate will be locked in the mornings and it'll be unlocked in the afternoons during that time period to let those students out. And he also brought up concerns. We talked about the students going down Bond to 139. He said a lot of those students were making a left on 139, heading out, making a left on Mayhew, and then going out to the highway.
Okay.
And he said, there's no traffic light there, and students are just kind of zipping out, and he was worried about that. So he said, at least this way, they're going down to a traffic light to where maybe it'll be a little more safer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But one of the school board members did bring up, there has been several crashes there, but there's been crashes at all those intersections down through there.
It's notorious.
Starting at the light, Mayhew and 139, which they're currently doing a project down there to hopefully fix that, I guess. We'll have to wait and see. But he brought up the point, Mr. Howard may want to continue to review that now that that's open.
Yeah.
And he said maybe, consider making them make that left so that they could come back into town instead of going down to the highway. So that may be something they look at in the future. But as it stands now, right-hand turn for students out there. So just if you're traveling down through there, make sure you're during the afternoon, 20 miles per hour when it's flashing, and just watch out for students.
It's going to get monitored very closely, especially at first.
I'm sure he said that something about having the school resource officers out there too. So just kind of watch that area. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm going to give my seat up to Telegram editor Pete Wilson here. I'm sure he's got some news, and I feel like I've taken a lot of his time. So we'll get up and Pete. Get out of the way here.
No, you had some very interesting things. We appreciate that, Jeremiah. Thank you. Well, hi, Pete.
Hello there. How we doing?
We're well. How are you?
Doing very well.
Do you get to broadcast the scrimmages or the scrimmage tonight, or is that just a scrimmage?
That's just a scrimmage, and it's also away from home. Yes. Way away from home.
Way away from
home. At Bellbrook.
Yeah.
That is
correct.
Where is
Bellbrook?
It is near Dayton.
Okay.
It is way over there. The Ironmen have been playing them in scrimmages home and away every other year for quite some time. I did see something on social media that will actually be telecast or video streamed. Didn't see where it was coming from, but it may be posted locally somehow. I think it's a subscription thing. You'd have to pay for it, but I'm sure a lot of people who are interested in the team and don't want to make a long trip for a practice game might be interested in tuning in there.
It. Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, in the time I have remaining, I have a very important chore to do that I'm going to do first, and maybe that might be the only thing I do.
Okay.
But of course, yesterday here on Main Street TV, we reported what we thought was a very important development regarding the Hotel MacArthur and the MacArthur Brickyard project, both tied to a $2.8 million grant through the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, the division of ODNR that deals with mining and reclaimed lands.
Right.
And based on information that we had received, we had made the conclusion and believed that that $2.8 million grant had been lost. As we know, there is a disagreement involved with that grant between the CVB, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, which received that grant, and the county commissioners, which control the bed tax, which is revenue that feeds into the CVB, and the Park District is a separate thing from the CVB, and this grant supports the Park District project, which is the MacArthur Brickyard thing, and the Hotel MacArthur, which is a CVB thing. So when we were given information, and the contact came from somebody else associated with the Park District, that there had been developments that indicate that grant may be lost.
Yes.
And that was the conclusion that we had based on the information that we had. We now know from follow-up checkup that is not the case.
Oh, okay.
We had heard that ODNR had, made communications, with local folks in Vinton County and with the Park District that there was that the grant was in peril or had been canceled, and it was in the process of happening or had happened.
Oh,
we were not able to immediately get a hold of ODNR. We finally did in the afternoon hours yesterday and talked with Adam Schroeder, who is very much involved in that, and he told me categorically, and this is important for us to retract and to make clear on Main Street TV, that grant is still viable.
Okay.
That grant, I mean, some things have to happen for it to be executed and like that have not happened yet.
So it's not
It is
bye-bye yet.
The grant is not dead. That means that the Hotel MacArthur project is not dead, and also the project with the MacArthur Brickyard is not. Now, as I said, some things have to be worked out. There's some there's a little bit, as we've reported before in a couple front page stories that were printed and posted on Wednesday. There is some disagreements between the folks who are involved in the grant and those two projects tied to the grant. And some things are going to have to be resolved probably for all those projects to go forward. There's still a chance that that can happen. But even though we did not have anything published or posted in the paper about the grant being lost, it did get out because of Main Street TV. And I just got off the phone before I came on the air with a representative of the CVB, and they say that they are taking a tremendous amount of criticism and pressure because, some folks are blaming them for the loss of the grant. And I want to make it very clear, they did not lose the grant. We jumped the gun trying to be aggressive, getting a story out, and just did not hear from the horse's mouth.
Okay.
That
Hey,
administrate the grant.
sometimes.
Right. And so we and I apologize for that as the editor. As I said, nothing's been published or posted. It could be that the grant, if things don't get worked out, something bad may happen, but it has not happened yet. I want to make it clear. And to those folks in the MacArthur and Vinton County who I understand have started a petition because of what got out yesterday on Main Street TV and blaming the CVB, some people at least.
Okay.
I want to make it clear that the grant has not been lost. The CVB did not hear that the grant was lost, and they didn't do anything to lose the grant yet.
Okay.
So anyway, that's the bottom line there. Once again, we apologize for that. There was some hard work done. That story just didn't come out of thin air. It became it came from information we had received that indicated that the grant was lost.
Listen,
but
Red spends a lot of time ingrained in the culture and in the facts in Vinton County, so he didn't just make that
right.
up.
and we hope for everybody that some resolution or compromise can be reached.
Yes,
but
for sure.
Something has to happen because the commissioners and the prosecutor and the folks that control the bed tax money, they are still wanting the CVB members, the current CVB members, to resign because of concerns they have about operations and things that's happened in the past. Their allegations, all about financial handling and procedures and auditing, nothing criminal or anything like that. But they have had these concerns where on the CVB side, I know from, talking with them and interviewing, a member of their board who's kind of been their spokeswoman, they feel that they've worked very hard on this and they have a passion for the hotel. They do not want to see it lost. They insist that they want to talk to the commissioners and the prosecutor and try to work things out. They don't want to see the grant lost or anything. So, there's two sides, to this issue, and it's sad that there is this kind of like tug of war in this stalemate, and that is a fact that does exist.
Yes, for sure.
The grant has not been lost.
Okay.
ODNR's.
Hey, that's great news.
Yeah, even though some project agreement was not signed by a stated deadline, that did not kill the grant.
Okay.
There's still time for things to be worked out. And ODNR, Mr. Schroeder, who I talked to, didn't give me any deadline or what ifs on the thing being resolved. I think that the state awarded $2.8 million, and they want to see Vinton County use it to develop those two projects.
Okay.
So there you are.
go.
That's the only thing that I have time to talk about. There's other things, so maybe we'll pick up with those on Monday.
Okay.
So, but anyway, just wanted to make that very clear, the situation with the grant, the AMLA grant for the Hotel MacArthur and the MacArthur Brickyard project.
That's right. And don't forget, pick up your edition of the Telegram and be tomorrow.
It'll be tomorrow.
Tomorrow's
correct.
edition. You can find out all the latest and greatest and things like that the staff so You work very hard. That's what I'm trying
well,
to say.
well, we do.
You extremely hard.
We made a mistake of commission and just, I don't think it was reckless, but it was just a misunderstanding about
Yes.
what has transpired so
Yeah.
far. And unfortunately, we couldn't get the document or a direct contact with ODNR until yesterday afternoon.
Well, you will
We,
find
we
out.
thought we knew what had happened or was happening, but we were wrong.
Well, that's okay. It happens occasionally.
Right.
Very rarely around here, but it does happen. So,
Well, we try.
yes.
I'll say that much.
Well, have a great weekend, Pete Wilson. We appreciate you coming in. And you all out there have a very, very safe and joyous weekend and a little bit cooler temperatures. I can't believe I'm saying this. Pray for rain. Pray for rain. We need
You've
it.
already got it, kiddo. Did you know
Oh,
that?
is it raining out
Oh,
there?
yes, it was.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, very good. So we can take that and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back here on Monday.
Bye-bye.